basically, I run the CS organization at Flxpoint. In my org, we're using it to complement our existing US and India-based teams to essentially support a couple initiatives that will result in growing our customer base, but we also need to stay within budget. And so using LatamCent has helped us to essentially achieve those goals for staffing, the projects, and then also our budget. So I will celebrate 5 years at Flxpoint in August. Kind of worked my way up through various CS roles into the position I'm in now. And I'm lucky enough to oversee a team of 21 people. And just for some perspective, that's 4 in the US, 7 in the LATAM region, and 10 in India. My team covers essentially phone and email support, advanced new customers, etc., onboarding and implementation, including paid projects, so professional services there. We also deliver internal and external enablement, so it could be for customers or fellow team members. That's from docs, process improvement, systems enhancement, things like HubSpot, Jira, AI, videos. So we also have a position for that. And then account management. And that's something I'm pretty passionate about at Flxpoint. We view CS as a revenue driving organization, not just one to sort of react and support an existing customer base. So our AMs own retention, and then obviously that comes with churn prevention, and then expansion. So expanding the money that we are receiving from our customers and for them adopting more services. The goals that we've got this year really ties into why we're working with LatamCent and the LATAM region in general. So number one, and maybe a little cliche, but it's to operationalize and optimize essentially my organization. So it's making sure the team has the right talent, but also that we're doing things in the smartest way, most efficient way. And we're doing all that because we are essentially migrating over. We have 2 different softwares. We are sunsetting one this year. It's a major project for the entire company, probably our largest initiative. And we plan on tripling our customer base at minimum, maybe even quadrupling it. And we are near doubling it right now. We started this project in March. And so hiring from the LATAM pool has been critical for us to essentially be ready for and support the ongoing growth of our customer base. And then we specifically have some product initiatives, so around enhancing our app, making in-app upgrades, purchases even easier, etc. And so we're really aiming to set up for what we call product-led growth in the industry at Flxpoint in Q4, and that growth is really going to shift to be almost exclusively driven by the account managers, both of which we've hired from Latin America. Why the LATAM region was attractive, and I know we'll get to it, but obviously we worked with you as sort of like a test run and saw great results. And so really we thought about it and we were like, the time zone aligns very easily. It's where we're not having to do all this extra management and figure out what shift is covered and what's not. It just makes it easier, better quality of life for the agent, and then easier on us. It opened up for me the idea to really go after levels of talent that I didn't think I could afford. Essentially, that's probably a good way to put it. So yes, obviously, we're doing some of this to keep within budget and grow the team, but it wasn't just about a difference in salary. It was also, it allowed me to target candidates with a certain level of existing experience and be able to afford them. So to be very transparent, my CEO essentially started a relationship with you, expressed interest in exploring the opportunity of the LATAM market. And so we were so thrilled with not only the first candidate, but also the process was great working with you and your team that we haven't left. We've continued to source candidates. I know this is about my organization, but we've also, our sales organization and our engineering organization have also sourced candidates just based on that initial first experience. I'll speak for my org in particular. At this point, I'm sending any role that opens up. I am working with LatamCent to fill it. And that's probably going to stay the same for the foreseeable future. Time is precious and very scarce for me and my position. And the biggest value I think that I got and also learned to start taking more advantage of was really all the vetting, candidate review, testing for like English competency, how they present and carry themselves, on a video, things like that. It's very time expensive, and it's not something that if I were to lead myself, that I think I would be able to devote enough time to really do well. And so the fact that your team takes care of all of that, and then when I get to the table and I'm reviewing a list of candidates, I know that they already meet all the qualifications and needs that I've already outlined with your team. So I don't have to do that. They are worth my time for an interview, even if it's not the candidate that I end up hiring, because all that vetting has already been done. And I found that to be extremely valuable. Another aspect is, especially at the start, I'm not familiar with the LATAM market. I don't know the hiring practices. I don't know the cultural practices around work. I don't know what the sort of going expectations are for compensation and benefits in that region, even for in that region while working for US companies. And so being able to ask questions about that, I remember with one particular candidate, they came back to me with some benefits that another company was offering, and I was able to have a candid conversation with the recruiter on your team. I didn't know anything about that, and so it was like, great, can you tell me about what other companies are offering, what you see helps them win the candidate that they want, so I can evaluate it and do what I can the same on my end. So really just the vetting, and then all the experience and knowledge about the region and practices there. I get that with you, and I don't have to come to the table already knowing that and already having the experience. I'll keep it general first. Like I said, it's helped me keep the adequate staffing, but at scale and in budget. The experience has been so good that I do plan on, for the foreseeable future, all of the future openings in my organization to work with LatamCent to fulfill. And then really the measurable impacts that you can see, our support team metrics, our account management metrics, our onboarding metrics. So things like the time that it takes a customer to go live on our platform after migrating from their previous software, the number of companies that churn, the amount of expansion revenue that we're able to get from our existing customers, and then the time that it takes us to reply the first time to a support ticket from a customer. All of those, we've seen demonstrable improvements, or with our expanding customer base, we have seen some of those dip down below our target metrics, but far less than if we didn't have the LATAM employees that we now have to support our efforts. So really it's been either demonstrable improvements in some of our metrics, or bridging the gap in this time of a lot of change and a lot of activity and bringing on customers to make sure that we're able to maintain as much as possible our existing good metrics. And this is kind of an interesting point, and hopefully this helps anyone in the future seeing this video. Working with LatamCent in the beginning, I don't think I took enough advantage of your team. I kind of said this is what I'm looking for, shared the job posting, and we kind of I let you run with it. I think I've worked with you all 4 times now, I believe, 4 or 5 times. And as I've done this more, I really learned I can ask your recruiters anything. I maybe don't even know the right way to express it, but I can say, like, here's an example of a situation, and I'm looking for someone who can handle this situation this way. Or I've had some attrition in my organization as well, and then when I come to your team for the replacement, I have an idea now of what I think will be better in this role, what kind of qualities and experience will be better. And so what I really enjoy now is that I can bring all that to the table. I don't have to have it formalized or phrased the best way. I can essentially express as I think it, the needs and what I'm looking for to your team. Then they go to do all the difficult work and translating that into actual job profiles, and then looking through all the candidates that they're finding and to pull out the ones that meet this random idea that I had that I think this quality would be better in this position. And then in addition to that, I've done a couple of these hiring efforts. We sort of started with this set of needs, requirements, qualifications, did a round of interviews, and I've been able to come back to your team and say, I think really something that might be missing as a theme from the recent pool that I've interviewed is X. And then your team was able to go back to the table and then find a new pool of candidates that now meet that qualification. Something that I might have not thought of before. It's so customizable. It's exactly what I need. And I can just kind of brain dump all that information onto your team, and then they go and do the rest, and then boom, I've got a list of qualified candidates vetted again ready for me to interview.